Well, we're gonna go back in the house. Take the scenic route, though, for Suki's sake. I've missed walking in the woods with the rain dripping around me. On silent ground. The project I told you about yesterday. God, was that yesterday or the day before? Came up with a new episode ending, or an outro, as opposed to intro. And I like it. And it's cute. Man, it's beautiful out here. Sanctuary, an oasis. Where did she go? That's right, I'm not supposed to be caring anymore. I've been reading a book, or I finished a book called Recursion. So I found it. Our library had it. And very ironically, it has a whole lot of similarities to Canadian TV show on Netflix called Travelers. But it deals with people who come back from the future to help get the world off the course of destruction. I love when the wind blows like this after rain and you think, oh, it's raining harder. No, it's just shaking off the trees. Both of these items deal with what I've been thinking about for the last year. And what I've talked about also just recently, the intelligence in the natural world. It's all around us. I mean, and how do we look at the intelligence of the natural world that we don't have anything to do with? We're not creators of this intelligence. Animals and insects and all of the things that have evolved. I don't know if I go for that. And I don't diss evolution at all. That's just one morsel or one factor in this wide open curiosity I have about the natural world and time travel. I guess I'm getting into it more than I intended or wanted to. It seems like I gotta wait until I have it all lined up so I can. And it occurred to me very recently the matter of deja vu. What is deja vu? I assume that most humans have experienced it, and when you say deja vu, they know what you're talking about because they've gone through it. Nobody ever has had an explanation of it. It's just one of these, is deja vu an instance of the drapery, the sheer drapery that is obscuring whatever it's obscuring? For just a brief moment, we are given this weird experience, and it dissipates very quickly. But is that a glimpse into an alternate timeline? Both of these, the book and the TV show, these people were able to go back in time and relaunch a life. or their life at a specific point in time. We've all heard about people who died and they are revived somehow from it, and they relate that their whole life flashed before their eyes as they were dying. There are enough accounts of that is just one other little bit of curiosity to add to the mix. There's a biblical passage somewhere. 1,000 years is like one day to God. Is that because he can move back and forth, he or she can move back and forth along actively ongoing timelines? I'm really curious about all of this, and the more I think about it, and the more little bits of curious evidence that occur to me, like deja-vu and like dead people having their whole life flash before their eyes, they're moving back along the timeline of their life. It's not like that history is gone, and I'm not a kook. Is it possible that when we die, we pass on to our eternal home? Like I read about every so often when I look at obituaries. Oh my God. I have been thinking about this, like everybody thinks about this. Death, dying, the end, lights out, oblivion. That does not seem reasonable to me in an intelligence-backed life. I had a golden retriever I rescued from the animal shelter in about 1998. She was 5 years old. I called her Easy. That was her name. And we would go out in the boat a lot, go upriver, and she would stand in the bow with her front paws on the very front. And we're speeding along, and she'd get her legs going, back legs, tail just a-going. So happy. She was the happiest dog. She lived in misery for 5 years before I came along. And I always wondered, there's so much passion and enthusiasm and personality inside that dog. And love of life. She was just thrilled to be alive. I think a lot of rescued dogs go through that because they had miserable beginnings to their life. And once they're rescued to a forever family, they're just overjoyed. Now this is what life is. Wow, yes. And the enthusiasm that she had going on when she'd be wagging her tail up on the bow of the boat as we're going along upriver in the sunshine in the summer. And I always thought, where does Easy's wag go when she dies? The wag, well, you figure it out. The wag is everything that, the essence of her, the personality that she has, the unique personality that everybody has. To think that existential, that ethereal, non-corporeal entity would just dissipate and is no more. That doesn't seem reasonable to me. Yeah, the body, it rots away. We don't need the body anymore. But the essence of who we are, the intelligence that we have, the personality that we have, does that just flame out also? I don't know. I don't have any answers. I just have curiosities that seem to require an answer or answers. And anybody that tells you they know the answers, run away from them as fast as you can, because these are unknowables. But there seem to be enough clues, like deja-vu. Oh, I know what I was looking to get back to. You know, you think about our life. If you could see its path, all around in circles and here and circling back and going off here, then backing up. You made a bad choice and you go a different direction. Deja vu is a momentary crossing of the timeline, an alternate timeline. And that makes a lot of sense to me. You think that the deja vu timeline is here, and our current timeline crosses it for just a brief moment. More to come on this subject, I'm sure. Well, the rain stopped. I think the flowers have had their heyday. Well, I really have enjoyed sitting in the loft, the rain on the roof. I love these. The hallucinatory effect. Well, those look fresh and clean. Yeah, there are yellow jackets flying. What a contrast. I have a newfound respect for now when I'm outside like this walking along and I hear a hum of an insect flying past. It's a little bit of an attention grabber. Not a panic, but just a realization that anonymous is probably an adversary, a thug, hitman, hitwoman, hoping to stab that stinger into my neck or my eyeball. It's not funny. She's been running back and forth. Now she's had enough. Let's get out of here. Come on. Get a move on. I don't understand what's going on with the yellow jackets. I stepped out of, well, one just flew past me. I stepped out of the door just now, and one was waiting for me. Flew around me, up and down, like doing inspection on me. What, do I sting this guy or do I let him go for now? And then another one came up while I'm getting the boots on. Oh my God. It's like all there is out here now. Bring on the mosquitoes. Oh, there's another one. Has word gotten out? This guy can't be trusted. Boy, this is creepy. I don't know what's going on. I'm really freaked out by these yellow jackets. They're just following me everywhere now. I guess I'm just gonna get out of here. This is crazy nuts. There's a couple more. Very heavy air. It's about 72 degrees, 74, I guess. What does it matter? I am doing a time lapse, but it's not a time lapse. It's a self-timer using the time lapse setting. It's a fantastic function that I learned from James Popsis, who has a YouTube channel. I like the guy. He's self-effacing, and anyway, I set the time-lapse setting to well, I set it for 90 exposures. I don't need 90, but it's way in excess of what I can cancel it when I'm done. Firing every 5 seconds, so it's taking a still photo, but I'm not going to turn it into a time lapse. It's just, well, you'll see. Where do I put this? Huh. There's a convenient pile. Probably a yellow jacket's nest in there, and I've stirred them up. A few minutes ago I yelled, "Bring on the mosquitoes." Well, if the yellow jackets went away in favor of mosquitoes, I'd be just as outraged. But their stings don't hurt as much. Where's the camera? What the hell is that? Well, it'll be interesting to see what this series of self-timer slash time-lapse images is gonna do. I'm thinking of having them show every 1 second or so. Just, in other words, a very slow time-lapse, manually created. I don't have a name for this trail. There's the giant pines right down in there. As long as we're out this way, let's take a look and see what the beaver has been doing. Definitely the rain is finished. It's just one of those things you can tell. I don't know what it is, but I don't think looking at the radar an hour and a half, 2 hours ago has anything to do with it. There's just a sense in the air that the rain has moved off. He hasn't been back. That's as high as he could reach on the end of that. You know, you think the neighbors are a long way off, and they're not. Now he's trying to land on my forearm. God damn it. I just can't be out here anymore. I can't be comfortable. I'm constantly freaked. Now when I feel something land on my arm, I'm not just going to swipe it off. Oh, shit. I've never been through this. My whole life being outside, outdoors, out in nature. Just leave me alone. Go about your damn business. Let me do mine. Suki hasn't been stung. I don't wish that on her. You heard me chuckle, right? Okay. I'll take any stings before her. I don't want anything being stung. I start to feel like I should be looking behind me, back over my shoulder. Have I got a swarm of bees following me, plotting and scheming? You head for the jugular, Frank. I'll sting him in the left eye, Herman. Doris, she can go for the right eye. And Harvey, get him on the crotch. Bring 6 of your friends with you for that job. It's not funny. I wanted to go up to the field. I guess I haven't gotten back on the horse, have I? Or I'd be going up to the field first. Not going to be able to walk on that path right where the guy got me. I walked up to here yesterday, turned around. I didn't realize until later that I had not finished walking down this path. This path isn't going to get used much anymore. It's too bad. It's a charmer, especially how it narrows down. Look at the fresh gopher mounds. I'll be damned. 2, 4. Oh, I know what I was going to look at. See if the grass seed that I sowed on the second terrace timber has... Oh yeah, look at it. Lovely. It'll walk on that. That's nice. And all down there. Oh, yeah. Good thing I wasn't waiting for it. Something I have not done. Yeah. This is copacetic. Don't even think about landing here. Yesterday when I was talking about deja-vu and that whole subject, one point I said, I'm not a kook. Should have said, maybe I'm just a kook. You think of the crazy people that, well, ever since man was invented, were hollering about this and that. They can see things that general public thinks is crazy, and they institutionalize these people for being kooks and nut jobs, insane. When it turns out they knew things and they were trying to get the attention and warn people, society. That was one of the minor subjects in The Travelers, that Netflix TV show that deals with some of this. And anybody that they told that they were from the future would just, of course, think they're nuts. People don't say that kind of thing. because there is no such thing as being from the future. Well, there was in that show. Huh.